Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be playing another round of my TBR game, Scrabble Picks My TBR. If this is your first time here, first of all, welcome. Secondly, I will link in the card a video explaining the rules for my TBR game. It's pretty simple. Basically, every month I spell 5 words in a game of Scrabble, and those 5 words act as my prompts for that month's reading. I must successfully complete the prompt to collect the points from that word, and once I reach 150 points, I get to clean the board and start anew. I ended up not playing my TBR game in October, so let's talk about how I did in September, the last time I played this game. Did complete every book on that month's TBR, however, technically by the time I finished Kaikai by Vaishnavi Patel, it was the beginning of October, so I did not give myself credit for that one. That means I currently have 97 points going into this month. That's still pretty good. I definitely think we can hit 150 this month. And the last order of business before we get to the prompts, what books do I need to read this month? What did I just say? My Read Christie pick for the month of November is The Mystery of the Blue Train. I have been reading an Agatha Christie book every month this year for the Read Christie read-along, and this is going to be my book for the month. I have heard this is one of Agatha Christie's worst books. I know she herself thought it was one of the worst books she ever wrote, but I'm on a mission to read every single book by Agatha Christie, so gotta get to this one sooner or later, and hopefully I'll still have fun. I also need to read The Curse of Penrith Hall by Jess Armstrong. This is a gothic sort of historical mystery. I have the ARC for this on NetGalley, and I believe it's being published late November or early December. So this month I want to read that and get my review out to you. I think though I'm going to challenge myself and not put either of these books on the TBR this month just to see if I can read 7 books. I don't know. Maybe I'll later regret that decision, but I'm thinking, you know, I'm gonna just try to see if I can read 7 books in November, you know? Keep your fingers crossed for me. So I think that's all the housekeeping we need to cover. Let's just dive right in to the first prompt for this month's TBR. So this is what we had on the board at the end of our last TBR game. I still have these 2 star tiles to switch out letters if I need to, and since I only have a Y left, I need to start by picking 6. Yes, 6 letters. Let's get started. J. E. I'm gonna like move this over so I'm not reaching as much. Okay. V. O. Blank. And E. For this prompt, I am going to spell cover. That's going to be a C. And read a book that has what I think is an attractive cover. That is going to be, there's a triple here, so that's 1, 4, 8, 9. 9 points for that. The first prompt is cover, a book that I think has a beautiful cover. And for this, I decided I'm going to read The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. I've been meaning to read this book for so long. The reason I dragged my feet was because I was in a workplace book club and this was my suggestion for the book club. Unfortunately, the book clubs kind of fizzled out and we never got around to reading this, so now I'm just finally going to read it on my own. This is a historical fiction novel that takes place in 2 timelines. One takes place, I believe, in the late 1700s, following a apothecary shop where the shopkeeper Nella gives women poisons to kill their husbands with. And the second timeline follows a modern day woman on vacation in London. And while walking along the Thames, I believe, she discovers an artifact from this apothecary shop and starts digging into the story. Because this book has been on my TBR so long, I put it in my books that I want to read before 2024 video, or whatever it was I called it. I will link that in the card as well. And I am glad that I'm finally going to get around to reading this book. It's been way too long. That's going to be the first book on the TBR this month. T. Oh, I'm picking 4 more letters, by the way. Didn't say that. A U, N, X, recent. I will be reading a recent TBR edition, something from, let's say, the last, 3 to 6 months. I'll try to be closer to 3 if I can. So that's the next prompt. And how many points is that? We have double letter here and here. So that's going to be 1, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 points for that. Next, for the prompt, a recent TBR edition, I decided to go with another book that I included in the same video as The Lost Apothecary. I am going to be reading The Man Who Died Twice by Richard Osman. This is the second Thursday Murder Club mystery. I'm very excited to read this. The Thursday Murder Club is basically about a group of senior citizens living at a British retirement village. Every Thursday, they get together to talk about true crime cases. So when they encounter crimes in real life, of course, they're going to get together to solve them. I found the first book very enjoyable and charming, so I am excited to continue the series, especially since I've heard people say the books get even better as you go along. Yeah, I'm just really excited to read this one. I hope that I will enjoy it, and it feels like the sort of book I need in my life right now. That's going to be the second book on the TBR. Now I need to pick 3 letters. E again. Z. M. Just realized I was talking to the camera for several minutes without it being on. So to recap what I just said, I'm cashing in one of these special tiles to swap my letters. I'm definitely swapping the Z, the X, and the J. I'm not as sure about the Y, because I do feel like the Y can be useful. But I think, since this is a free swap, I'll just swap the Y anyway, because why not? Oh, pun not intended. Okay, so now I get to pick 4 new letters. N. Another N. I. A. And then I will put these back in here. Name. I will read a book with a proper name in the title. I'm pretty sure I've used this prompt before, but there is a particular book that I really want to read, so I'm using this prompt so that I can read the book that I want. So sorry, I have ulterior motives. Now, this has the triple letter here, so that's 4, 7, 8, but I also get the points for mask, which is 4, 5, 10. So 18 altogether, is that right? Yeah. Next, a book with a name in the title. I'll be honest, I picked out this word with one book and one book only in mind, and that's Cecily by Annie Garthwaite. Did I also include this in the video? I might have, I'm not sure. I am very excited to read it nonetheless. This is a historical fiction novel following Cecily Neville, the Duchess of York. She was a prominent figure during the Wars of the Roses, which were a war for the English crown in the 1400s, I believe. I'm not good at remembering years in history, so don't quote me on that. And the Wars of the Roses are a historical time period that I find of particular interest. I enjoyed that time period ever since I was a teenager and I watched the miniseries The White Queen. Watching that prompted me to do a lot of research online about the actual Wars of the Roses. I've had a fondness for that time period ever since. Cecily Neville was the mother of 2 kings of England, Edward IV and the infamous Richard III. So I'm so excited to read this book about a time period I love, and I've heard so many good things about this book. I've seen people give it 5 stars. I have high hopes for this. I can't wait to read it, and I hope that it lives up to the hype. G. W. Oop, I got my finger caught on the drawstring. H. E. I don't know if this is a good prompt or not, but I'm gonna say thing, which has the double word. I don't know. So my thinking is for the prompt thing, I will pick a book that has a thing on the cover. So like sort of an animate object instead of a person. I don't know. That's the best that I got. So let's count up the points here. We could just get the double word. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 2 is another 18. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. You guys, this might be the best TBR game of all time, because the next prompt was thing. And like I said, this is kind of a weird prompt, but I figured I would pick a book that had a thing on the cover, like an inanimate object, instead of, you know, a person or an animal or something. So I was looking through my TBR shelf on Goodreads, and I realized that A Stranger in Mayfair by Charles Finch fits this prompt because the cover is of 3 keys, which are things. And I am so excited about this pick too, because this was also in the books I want to read before 2024 video. Like, how lucky am I that I managed to get 4 out of those 5 books on the TBR. Spoiler alert, the next prompt is not going to be the 5th book from that video. So I still have one that I need to try to squeeze in somewhere, but like, listen, I am over the moon with this TBR because I'm getting 4 of the 5 books I really need to read onto one TBR. This is amazing. This might be the best, most successful TBR ever. Like, things never work out this perfectly. But here we are. I'm saying that, I'm gonna end up like hating the books now because I said that. Let's hope not. Anyways, I'm recovering myself. The reason I wanted to read this book so badly is because it is part of the Charles Lennox mystery series. This is a series that I'm in the middle of, and it's been many months since I last read one of the Charles Lennox books. I'm looking to change that this month. This is a historical mystery series set in Victorian times. The main character, Charles Lennox, is the sort of gentleman sleuth type of character where he solves mysteries but also comes from an aristocratic background. In this book, Charles is looking to enjoy his new marriage and his new career in Parliament, but a mystery seems to entice him back to his old life when one of his new colleagues in Parliament asks him to look into the murder of a footman. So that is the basic premise of this book. This series has just all in all pretty enjoyable and easy to read mysteries, so I'm excited to get back in to the series for the first time, and I think it might be 11 months, so it's about damn time that I read this book. Another N. T. S. And O. And I think my final prompt for this month is going to be snow. I'll read a book that's set in a snowy area, has like snowfall in the book. So for instance, something like Murder on the Orient Express could have worked because there's a part in the book where snow is blocking the train tracks. Or I'll do a book that has snow on the cover. So something to do with snow. And this down here has the double word, I think, right there. So it'll be 4, 5, 6, 7 times 2 is 14 plus profiles, which will be 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. Now prompt number 5 is snow. So a book set in a snowy setting with snow on the cover, you know, set during winter, etc. And unfortunately, this is not going to be one of the books from my books to read before 2024 video, but hey, 4 out of 5 ain't bad. Like, I will take that any day. And I had a couple different contenders for this prompt, but I think the book that I am going to pick for this is The Overnight Guest by Heather Gudenkoff. I do not know if I'm saying her name right. My apologies if I mispronounced it. But this is the only thriller I have on this month's TBR, so I thought this would be a good choice. I will confess, I don't know what the plot of this book is exactly. This is a thriller that I added to my TBR after seeing a lot of pictures for it. Pictures of it, I mean, on Instagram. It also does have a really high Goodreads rating, so I'm cautiously optimistic about it. The book is set during a snowstorm in that sort of claustrophobic, isolated setting, so it definitely works for this prompt. I'm gonna read the Goodreads description because, like I said, I've seen a lot of positive reviews for this book, but I'm not sure what it's about. So it says, true crime writer Wiley Lark. That's a name. That's a good character name. Very unique. Doesn't mind being snowed in at the isolated farmhouse where she's retreated to write her new book. A cozy fire, complete silence. It would be perfect if not for the fact that decades earlier at this very house, 2 people were murdered in cold blood and a girl disappeared without a trace. As the storm worsens, Wiley finds herself trapped inside the house, haunted by the secrets contained within its walls, haunted by secrets of her own. Then she discovers a small child in the snow just outside. After bringing the child inside for warmth and safety, she begins to search for answers. But soon it becomes clear that the farmhouse isn't as isolated as she thought, and someone is willing to do anything to find them. All right, so that is going to be the final book on my November TBR. I also think this will be a great read for this time of year when we're sort of transitioning into winter. Granted, I live in Florida, so it does not snow here, but maybe it can get me into more of a winter spirit, you know? This just seems like a good seasonal thriller read to me. Hopefully I will like it. So those are going to be my November TBR prompts. Assuming I did all my math right, if I complete every single one of this month's prompts, I will have 178 points, which would be enough to clear the board next round. I think I can manage this. We'll see. So everyone, that is it for my November TBR. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you're still here, why don't you let me know what you plan to read in November in the comment section. And if you have nothing to say but you want to support my channel, then why don't you leave how about a trophy emoji in the comments? Because I feel like I'm winning at life with this TBR right now. So leave a trophy emoji down below if you're still here and you want to show your support. I would very much appreciate it. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. Just giving this video a like would really help me as I try to grow my channel, so I would really appreciate it. My social media links are in the description if you want to follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or be my friend on Goodreads. Though I confess I have not posted on my Bookstagram in a long time. I'm gonna try to get back into it. So anyone who follows me there, thank you for your patience. And I think that's pretty much it. So I hope you have a terrific rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye, and I'll see you next time.